Yes, welcome back. This is Eng.Ouma Nyang, and today we want to discuss a very interesting subject, and that's all about emailing system. So, have you ever wondered how the emailing system works? And today we want to explore anything that you might need to know about how the emailing system works, how you manage to send and receive emails using different email clients or using different email domain. So we will have to understand what is SMTP, what is IMAP, Pop3, TLS, and SSL. So what is SMTP? So SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol and is the industry standard protocol for email sending. And with SMTP, you are sending, relaying, or forwarding message from a mail client like a Microsoft Outlook, like a Gmail, Thunderbird, EM client, or any other email client to a receiving email server, or sending to receiving email server. So a sender will use the SMTP to carry out the process of transmitting the email message. And the key thing to keep in mind when thinking about whether to use which email sending protocol to use is SMTP, is that SMTP is all about sending, while we have another protocol called IMAP. What is IMAP? So IMAP is Internet Message Access Protocol. That's whatever it stands for. And IMAP deals with managing and retrieving email messages from the receiving server. So since IMAP deals with message retrieval, you will not be able to use the IMAP protocol to send email. Instead, IMAP will assist you to retrieve the messages from the server. So just a brief explanation how the emailing system works. After creating an email and pressing on the send button, your email client, e.g. Gmail, Thunderbird, Outlook, EM client, will use SMTP to send your message from your email client to the email server. Next, the email server will use SMTP to transmit the message to the recipient receiving email server. So upon a successful receipt of the SMTP transmission, we have a response code which is 250, indicated by a 250 OK response code, and the recipient email client will fetch the message using IMAP and place it in the inbox of the recipient to access your email. So it's a sender pressing a send button on his side. Then your email client will use SMTP to send your message to your email client email server. Then the email server uses SMTP to transport or transmit the message to the recipient receiving email server, and upon receiving, then the recipient fetch the message using IMAP and place in the inbox of the recipient. What is POP3? POP3 stands for Post Office Protocol. And in addition, there's another protocol called POP3, which stands for Post Office Protocol. And number 3 simply stands for the version 3, and we are currently on version 3, and the most widely used, hence the term POP3. So what's the difference? So before I go to the difference, POP3 also used to retrieve messages from the server just the way IMAP does. But there is a big difference between what POP3 does and what IMAP does. So what IMAP does, whatever IMAP will do, IMAP downloads the email from the server and to a single computer, then deletes the email from the server. So on the other hand, IMAP stores a message on the server and synchronizes the message to access multiple devices. So with IMAP, you can access multiple devices and receive the same or read the same message. But with POP3, the message will be downloaded in one device, and when you check on the same message using other devices, it will not be there. You won't find it since it has been downloaded by IMAP and placed on a certain device. So if you want to access a message offline, it's recommended that you use POP3, since POP3 downloads that message and on the device, and you can access it even offline. So example of SMTP examples, when I show you that what email protocol can I recommend for you for email receiving or for messages receiving. So it depends on how you want to access your email, and generally speaking, IMAP is most powerful and is recommended method for receiving email if you're working across multiple devices. Alternatively, if you prefer to have all emails accessible offline and you have a designated device for email, I'd say that then POP could be a best or a possible action. So summary is to wrap our tutorial using SMTP and IMAP. Quick summary: SMTP is the industry standard protocol for sending email, and if you are looking to send emails, then you'll be using SMTP instead of IMAP. And SMTP relay service can help you send email without having to build your own SMTP server. So IMAP is one of the most common protocol for receiving email, and IMAP syncs messages across all devices. POP3 is another protocol for receiving email on a single device using POP3, which means that emails will be accessible offline and deleted from the server. And by now you should see that there's a significant difference between IMAP, POP3 and SMTP, which we said SMTP is for sending, while IMAP and POP3 are for receiving messages. So somebody might ask that where are we going to apply these IMAP protocols and SMTP? This will apply if you want to read your messages in let me say, I can give a practical example that if I have my Gmail account here, I might want to read my emails from another email address in the same account. So when I come to add mail account, I will be prompted to manually configure those protocols, and those we will have ports which I will be prompted to fill manually for that emails, for my messages to be fetched from that another email that I want to sync with this email address. It's like it's a combined inbox. You are combining two inboxes in the same email. So this is just an example where you will apply the IMAP and the SMTP configuration. So what is TSL and what is SSL? TSL and SSL are security layers that assist you in configuring email, your email protocol. So SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer, and in short, it's the standard technology for keeping an internet connection secure, as safeguarding any sensitive data that is being sent between two systems, and preventing criminals from reading and modifying any information transferred, including potential personal details. The two systems can be from a server and a client, for example, a shopping website in the browser, or a server to a server, for example, an application with personal identifiable information or with the payroll information. While TSL, which is the transport layer security, is just an updated, more secure version of SSL, and we still refer to our security certificate as SSL because it's most commonly used term. But when you are buying SSL from Digisat, you are actually buying the most update and TSL certificates with the option ECC, RSA, DSA, and DSA encryption. So we'll come into much depth into TSL and SSL. So when you are configuring your email protocols, it's recommended that we will be using ports and security. You must configure your security and your security setting and the port number. So it's recommended that when sending emails, you send an encrypted mail using the TSL and the star TSL using port 465. Same to sending mail using SMTP encrypted with SSL, use port 465. If you're using POP3 to receive email and encrypted, use port 995. If using POP3 receiving emails encrypted, use port 995. If POP receiving unencrypted, use port 110. IMAP receiving encrypted with TLS use port 993, and IMAP receiving encrypted use port 993, IMAP receiving an encrypted use port 143. So I've talked port, you have to configure the right port for your email client to respond well in receiving and sending emails, and for it to work to your satisfaction. So it's recommended that you should set a security, because you've seen that TSL and SSL helps in encryption and security of the email and any data that you are transferring across servers and across email servers. So whatever you should do, you should encrypt either using TSL, SSL, star TSL. Some also have the option of TSL and SSL, TSL stroke SSL. So if you are sending using an encrypted without any security, then it's recommended you use port 25 or port 26 to make your emails being delivered. A situation might arise that you might need to use an encrypted as your in your security setting. But there's a problem with being unencrypted, is that many ISPs, many internet service providers block unauthenticated email sending on port 25. So it's recommended always to enable SMTP authentication and avoid using port 25 by enabling either TSL or TLS or SSL. And that all is to do with email sending and receiving, the TSL and the SSL. And the next tutorial will learn much you have to know about TSL and SSL, not only in email but also in website security and in other platforms. So that's the end, and in the next tutorial is an expansive explanation about SSL, TSL and HTTPS. So remember to subscribe, like and share, and I would like to thank you for watching.